How's it going? Living in Boulder vlog. What day is it? I think it's Thursday. What day of the month? 12th. I know it's the 12th because Kirsten got me an appointment for my booster at Safeway for the 11th, and that was yesterday. So I have a little bit of a sore on my left arm, and but maybe I felt a little bit queasy last night, but that's all. A little bit like hot, but that's it. So yeah, it's been like a week since I've done my vlog. I think what happened was I got like overwhelmed. If I get to a section of my website and stuff ends up dragging on and on and on like longer than I expect, then that's when I would start to kind of like neglect other things in my life to try to like finish. You know what I mean? Like when something doesn't happen, all of a sudden you're like, okay, why isn't that doing it? And then you just focus 100%. It's kind of like that. The last time I did the video, I said I was working on rivers and roads of Rome, and like that's a huge project, especially for Rome. Rome is the land of rivers, like more than anywhere I've ever seen, and I've looked all over Google Earth. That contributes to why Rome became the capital of the world. It's like highest population, most dense population of people like in the world, even more than like China back in the ancient times, just due to all the damn water flowing everywhere. It was like a kilometer between villages. It was insane. So if you're going to show like the character of Rome, you have to show all the rivers, to show which, like the lay of the land and how many there are, and illustrate how many rivers there are. So it's important to do that, and not just with the line tool, but with the polygon tool, because you can see the width of the river. Because Google Earth zooms in and out really fast, and so you can see the width of something even if it's only like a couple of meters wide. So you can't have a line that looks the same no matter how far or close you are, because everything has to be in perspective. So it's just one of those things, takes forever, but you have to do it. Same thing with the roads. And the problem with the roads is that they're longer than the rivers. I wanted to do all of the roads in Italy, like the main roads, the named roads in Italy. Like before, I traced the line of the roads, but not on all of them did I trace the exact on top of the road. So I kind of have to like do it from scratch, like I wasn't so sure if I had already done it on the road. I think I only did that on one of them. So I have to get on Google Earth and do to and froms, and then switch the button for bicycle and then trace it. I'm choosing to do bicycle, making the Roman roads on the bicycle routes, even if they're not as direct, like as close to the actual road, because I'm a bicyclist, and that's the best way to travel around places on a bike. So maybe later on I could do a version of road, highway, but so that's kind of the other thing that I was starting to do. So I'm here like just tracing all the rivers and roads around Rome, and I'm not done tracing. So I kind of did a little bit of the roads around Rome, like the Roman kingdom. But I didn't finish, and then I decided to do the roads around Italy, and then I didn't finish. And that's when I decided, hey, let's see if there's a map, or maybe it's time for me to do screen captures to prepare it of maps of the entire Roman Empire. Because I only had maps of the Roman Empire for certain periods, but not consistently the whole thing, and I just wanted to see if anybody had made one. I typed that for the population of Rome like a couple of weeks ago, and lo and behold, just like 3 months ago or something, somebody did a video showing the population of Rome for every year, and they said where they got it, but I didn't check. I probably should have. Maybe it would have saved time, but But they didn't. They only gave the name of a guy and like the date, and it wasn't like. And I think I looked and I couldn't find it, but maybe I'll look later. But I got it off of YouTube, and it took me a little while because it was like it was every year from 509 until 1000 that I got, and they had it until present. So I did the screen capture, and that took like a couple of days. In retrospect, I should have. I was a little bit antsy. I should have researched a little bit longer just to see if I could get it from the book, and because then I could have copied it, the text, instead of copied the video. It would have taken less time. But anyway, so I did that. That was a little bit of a detour, and then I put it onto. Oh, that's my mom. And then I put it onto my website because I was supposed to go to her house. Maybe she's calling to see why I'm not there yet. And then I put it, but I wanted to do a video because it's been forever. I need to check my mail too. Like there's all this stuff I have to do. I have to put those things away in storage. And I have to put the trash out and the recycle, and it's just like I'm not doing any of it. I have to check my mail. Like, anyway, yeah, she finally hung up, man. So then I put it on Google Earth, because I already had a folder set up for Rome, which I used from my timeline. I got every information about Rome from my timeline, and I put it on a Google Earth file because I'm doing it year by year. So then I augmented that with the population of Rome. So I have every single year of Rome with its population written next to it on Google Earth. So I'll use that when I build Rome, because I'm going to build Rome, the city, what it looks like every single year. That'll be fascinating because you can see it grow, and then how different neighborhoods grow and shrink. And but then I found this other one. I typed, and I think maybe I saw an older one, but then I saw one that said the Empire of Rome every month from 218 BC, every year until 218, and then every month from 218 BC until 476 AD, which is a lot, 12. It's like, what, 700 years times 12? Oh, there she is, calling again. Now what I should have done was written the person who made the video and said, hey, can you send me the actual individual images, or make it downloadable from your website, because the way that they had it, the years just zoomed through, and it's a lot more interesting if you can just pinpoint the years, because if you're studying a writer of Rome or a period of Rome or a battle, you would want to know what Rome looked like that year, that date, and it's really hard to do it on the YouTube video or on the video on your computer because it goes so fast. So, but I decided to just get it off myself because I automatically had this automatic belief that nobody would answer me if I wrote that, because I was asking people about images for my timeline last year. I think it was last year, and I asked 6 different people of all their different, just see if I could screen capture images from their YouTube videos, and these were University of Colorado and stuff like that. Not a single person answered me. And then the very next day, Flickr emails me and says, get other people's photos off your website. So instead of answering me, somebody complained about me to Flickr. So that's why I was just this person's not going to answer me. So I was just get it yourself, who knows if they even have it, maybe they just deleted all the files after they made the video. So I just went in there and I set the video, because it's a 37-minute long video, and the years, and it covers 10,000 or whatever images in 37 minutes. So it just zooms by. So I set the video to quarter speed and hit play on taking up the whole screen, and then I just screen captured it as it went through. I hit Control Command 3, and then just hit the three. I could keep my fingers on control and command, and then just hit the three every time we got to a new image. And then once all the images were collected on my computer, I went and looked at them on the gallery mode on Apple, and just looked at the the date, the month and the year, and then typed it in, and then just did one after the other. I just finished BC yesterday, and then I'm working on AD now, because then I have to go through and the ones that I miss. I have to go and see which ones I miss and then get them. And also, they miss them. The one that I got it from had a bunch missing too. So, it wasn't like every single year or month. So, anyway, today I will finish it, be another couple of hours. And then, so that'll be a big load off my shoulders. That's something that I needed to have. And I mean, I never actually expected to have it for every month. So that's awesome. You can see the movement. But I want to model it off of that and build the Empire of Rome for every month on Google Earth. I don't think that's too much. And that'll actually tie really well into my Rome show, my Boulder Rome show, where every day, I think I was saying was like, at the beginning, 50 days, 2 months, but now they're doing it for a month. Maybe I should just do it every day as a month, because you could do it like every day. You could do another one every day as a generation, because a month is 30 days, but a generation is 33 years. So that's like a good balance exponentially. So I kind of haven't decided yet, but yeah, that'll do. I'll want to have as much detail as possible. So I think I will do that. So yeah, after I finish finishing this with all of what Rome looks like in every month, then of course back it up, and that's like, whew, it was like 3 or 4 days. It's like, in retrospect, I wish I'd have emailed the person on YouTube, or not email, just typed on their video, written on their comment section, and then waited a couple days, and then done it. But whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think they would have emailed me back. And also, maybe it's good that they don't know that I got it from them anyway. I wouldn't want somebody to like sue me. I don't know. I mean, you couldn't get away with it successfully, but somebody might try. Proprietary. So, and I'll switch it up from what they do anyway. I'm only doing it from the ideas, because like when they have the Danish tribe, like Tulingi or whoever, immigrate down to Rome in the end of the Roman Empire, they had it in these big, huge, gobs, and they weren't that big. So I'll switch it up, personalize it. But it's a good guide to have, so I think it's worth a couple of days. So anyways, once I'm done with it today, then I'm going to go back and pick up where I left off with the roads. I'm going to Google Earth all of the roads of Rome, the ones that go all the way down to the bottom of the peninsula, and even around like Sicily and up to France, Not the whole road network of the entire empire, because if I did that, that'd just take. It's not realistic. It'd take too long. Maybe if I'm like an old geezer, 100 years old, in the old person home with nothing to do, maybe I'll do it then. But I only wanted to do the roads in Italy. And then I could do all the roads of the empire, just not with polygon, just with the line. But yeah, after I do the roads, then I'm going to finish with the roads of the Kingdom of Rome, so that everything is connected. I want to do like a bicycle touring guide, basically. Like if you live in Rome and you want to be a bicyclist and go on big rides everywhere, like the roads that are polygon, those are the rides that you have to do if you're going to experience ancient Rome. So after that, then I'm going to finish up the rivers of the Kingdom of Rome, which isn't too much more, maybe like another day or something, hopefully. But then after that, then I can finally get back to where I was before, which was tracing all the different villages from, all the different epochs from Rome. And that's going to be super interesting. But there's this other thing I want to do, which is build more of the city of Rome from like the earliest times. I wanted to do the Severan Wall. I did the Severan Gates, but I never did the Severan Wall, which is crazy to think about. So I definitely want to do the Severn Wall. And after I do the Severn Wall, find out what the population of Rome was when they built it, and then build Rome. At least the Severn Rome, because I just want to know what it looks like. So, and then after I do that, maybe I get going on the cities again. So from all the different epochs, the little villages. So I've got my work cut out for me. Every day I think I'll start doing video again. I stopped doing it because I was just like, oh my God, bogged down. Like that'll be depressing to talk every day about how I'm doing the same thing that I was doing last week. But I mean, I always knew this was one of the big projects for me. Like if you're gonna boil down my website to the time consuming, to the different sections, you've got timeline, and I always consider that to be the most time consuming. But I don't know, my Google Earth might end up overtaking it. And then there's Google Earth, but under Google Earth, there's lots of different sections. I think the most time consuming is actually Rome. Everything having to do with ancient Rome, because it's the city, the entire city, the entire empire, And then there's Boulder, which was time consuming. And then there's Atlantis, which ended up being time consuming. And then the Exceed 4000. And then all of history, all the battles might end up being the most time consuming. And then all the kingdoms and tribes and everything and villages, historical. So, yeah, Google Earth is big. And then I have all the mountains in Colorado, not just history of Boulder, but the current Colorado. So, yeah, and then there's the timeline. And then on my website, there's historical books, which pleasantly isn't all that much time, maybe only another week to finish the books that I need. I don't know, but, and then, yeah, just a lot of other random things on my website. But, so anyway, that's what I'm up to now. My mom was calling. I think I'm going to go on a bike ride over there and look at some old videos of my grandmother from a long time ago that I've never seen, my father's mother. So that's enough talking. Tomorrow, where will I be? Hopefully working on the roads. Finish this, what the empire looked like, with the images of it, and then be working on the roads, tomorrow. And hopefully saying oh yeah, a couple more days. So another reason I wasn't really doing videos was because I was smoking a lot of weed, I smoke a lot of weed when I feel bogged down. Got a joint last night for $7. But now I'm done. Oh, right, because 2 times I had lung collapse. It happened this morning. Last week or a few days ago, in the middle of a sleep, I couldn't breathe, and I had to actually stood up, and I couldn't breathe. It was but then I fell right to sleep. And when I do that, I can actually feel the pain. It makes my throat sore. And then it happened again last night. Yeah, and that would suck if it happened so bad that you can't breathe at all, because then you die. So yeah, I mean, it's clear that my lung collapse, that's what I call it. I'm going to ask the doctor what the hell's going on, but that's what it feels like. I can't breathe. Oh, wow. That happened the day after I got my booster. Anyway, it's directly connected to weed. If I smoke weed, if I go a few months without weed, I don't take my inhaler at all. It's awesome. It's my asthma goes away. If I start smoking weed, I'll get the asthma right away. But then after a couple of weeks of that, even if I'm not smoking that much weed, I'd buy a gram and it would last 3 or 4 days, But then after a couple of weeks of that, I get the lung collapse. So yeah, I definitely have to keep quitting smoking weed. So no more of that. No more weed. I'm done. But I was also drinking a lot of alcohol, every night. So, and picking out on junk food or not eating. So, that was just a result of me, I guess, getting too pressured, You don't want to allow one thing that can get you pressured is if you get too much shit from the outside world, I'm such a hard worker. People don't understand what I'm doing, and then they say nasty shit. I was over at my, I had a couple of cousins visit, and like nobody has ever acknowledges I have a website, which is really bizarre. So then that gets awkward. So then nobody looks at you and all that. So then my mom is like to one of them. She's like, "Hey, show him your website." But then she runs upstairs, and I'm like, "Okay." And then he's just like looking at his phone the whole time, not looking at me, while I'm talking to him about Rome. So then I'm like, "All right, well, let me show you my Atlantis," which I think is interesting, and I showed him that a little bit. And then he goes, "Hey, get my dad's name off your website. He's gonna get his his identity stolen." And because I think I have his name on there because I have a page of ancestors all the way to the beginning. I'm related to Maxentius, the emperor. And then he's like, "Yeah, and you need to go get a job uh, working on a maps. If you like maps, go get a job at the map company." And I'm like, "I don't need the money." And then my mom comes down and then she gets into it. She's like, "You need a job." And I'm like, "Why? I don't need the money. I need to finish my website. I'm like, my time is precious." And then the other cousin goes, "Get a job," and stuff. So it was just so, it's better to just, to not, and then I came home and I'm like, damn, that's just creepy as hell. I think I'm going to unfriend them on Facebook. And I told my mom, I'm like, "Look, don't be like using other people to like try to get me to get a job and then not have any comments on what I'm doing. And then like, and I don't even need the money, and I don't need the money in the foreseeable future. And I obviously need my time. Like I'm working all the time." It's just bizarre. I don't understand the logic behind that. Like, that's why I do my videos every day. I'm like, "Hey, this is amazing what I'm doing. Nobody does it. The only way I'm going to get it done is if I work all the time. Don't worry about me. I have the money." And then the only response you get from people is get a job. And then they don't even pretend that you even have a website. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. And then the other cousin, I was like, the only thing he ever said, he goes, "Are there other programs you can use?" And I was like, "Well, I have Creative Cloud." So I don't know what that was all about. So anyways, the moral of the story is, if you interact with people like that too much, or too many people like that, you can kind of take it home with you, and while you're working, you can be like, it can kind of subconsciously make you want to like work harder, but you can't sprint across a pool in 10 seconds, like you can't defy the laws of physics. So the best thing is just to rely on yourself to be happy with your progress. And, and if it gets to the point, because I'm 47, when you get older and you hear the same thing over and over again, it starts to get annoying, It's kind of like if you freeze your fingers, then your fingers might freeze easier from then on in because you like kill capillaries in your fingers or something like that. It's like a once bitten, twice shy type of deal. If you hear it too much, you just get, the patience goes away. So the best thing to do is just to limit your contact with people like that, like normal people who like to try to, for whatever reason, either ignore you or try to talk you out of doing what you're doing. And then make things up like you need money, like they know you. And that may have been the cause. Just like my mother, also, she likes to lay into me every single time I see her. Um, um, so uh, I think I'm going to start doing videos every single day because that kind of helps me remind myself that I'm making progress. And and uh, um, and I always knew that this was going to be time consuming. It's not like it's a secret. Oh, there she is calling me again. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll be working on the roads of Rome.